Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing why Heracross is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. I love this thing's design, I like its shiny a lot. It does have a poor bug fighting typing, but it has a high 125 physical attack. It has a decent 85 speed, but that's not enough anymore with all this crazy fast stuff running around, but luckily they added the move Trailblaze to the game, which lets us boost our speed by one stage every time we hit it. And with its ability Moxie, we can really snowball our attack out of control. So we're going to have some fun with this today, and we're going to jump right to our first match here. My opponent leads off with Mimikyu, as I open with my Galvantula. I want to prioritize getting my Sticky Webs up. I know it'll be helpful for my slower Pokemon in the back. And I just want to prioritize getting those up. I'm sure this thing will try to set up or something first turn, or maybe just attack me. But I have the Focus Sash, so I can live any hit. And I outspeed this, I get up my Sticky Web. And the Mimikyu is going to go for a Swords Dance, which really sucks. It's kind of making it scarier, but I do have my Focus Sash intact, so I know that I'm going to be able to take any hit, and I can definitely break this thing's disguise here with a Thunder. And I think you can get a Thunder Para through disguise, so maybe I was hoping for a Para that way, but I don't get the Para, and they go for a second Swords Dance here. So now this is sitting at +4, and it's pretty scary. I can still take a hit because of my Sash, but I'm not going to be able to kill this thing with anything I have. And as they go for a Shadow Sneak, it does knock me down to my Sash. Hanging on for dear life with because of my Focus Sash, and I get to get a Thunder off. And it's going to do a good chip to it, a good big chunk to it, but it doesn't get the Para and doesn't kill, so I basically have to stay in here. I don't have anything that switches in on +4 Mimikyu. And they finish me with a Shadow Sneak. And I go down there, but now I can go into whatever I want to finish this thing off. I know that my Entei is super bulky. Entei is just naturally really physically bulky, so I know that I can take any attack from this thing, and I definitely outspeed it. Probably should have killed it with a Flame Charge here. I do kill it with an Iron Head. It's going to go for that Shadow Sneak, and at +4 it does well over half to me, but I do live it, and I finish it with an Iron Head. I wasn't sure if I was going to have the damage with a Flame Charge. I was scared of this thing living somehow, and just tearing through my team, but luckily they don't, and we get that thing out of the way. And they go right into their first big scary threat here, the Kyogre. It does get caught up in the Sticky Web, so it's going to be slower than everything I have. But I don't really have a good answer to this, so I go into my Tentacruel here. I'm max HP and speed on this, so I know that I can take water attacks from this pretty well, resisted water attacks, even in the rain. And as I go into Tentacruel here. Super cool shiny on this. They go for an Origin Pulse, which in the rain does just a ton of damage. And I usually am Assault Vested. I wish I was on this, but I'm not. So I just go for a Giga Drain here to try to get as much damage as I can on this thing, and it does a big chunk with a crit, actually, and heals me back. It gets me back to a point where I'm thinking that I can live one more and get another Giga Drain off to chip this thing down, but we're going to see here an Origin Pulse does just finish me off, which sucks. So I go down there, and now I'm kind of strapped for answers against this Kyogre. I do need to chip it down before I'm able to finish it off with Heracross, I know that much. So I go into my specially defensive Pecha Run. I'm thinking that I'm max HP and special defense on this, so I'm thinking that I can live one attack. And I actually outspeed because of the webs and get a Malignant Chain off. I don't get the Toxic Poison, which sucks. And another Origin Pulse is going to just take out my Pecha Run, so my opponent here is just spamming the A button, and it's working out really well for them. But now I have just 3 Mons left to their 5, and I am going to have to pull this back hard with what I have. And I come in with Heracross flying, and I'm like, girl, I need you to pull this back for me. And she said, no problem. We go for a Trailblaze here, and that's going to be enough to kill the Kyogre, thank God. And I get the speed boost from the Trailblaze, knocks out the Kyogre, and that's going to activate my Moxie ability. So now I'm at +1 attack and speed. Basically, Dragon Dance just there. And they go into Regieleki here. It doesn't take any. It doesn't take the Sticky Web, so I know that it's Boots. And I know that they're going to be able to outspeed me. And they do. They go for a Thunder, which I wasn't expecting. And in the rain, it'll never miss. But luckily, I live. And at +1, a Stab Pin Missile. I'm going to take this guy out with just 3 hits. We don't even use all 5 hits. We use just the 3. With a loaded dice item, we're guaranteed at least 4 hits on all multi-hit items. And that's going to get us another Moxie boost. And now we're sitting pretty strong with Heracross here. They don't have anything that's going to be able to outspeed me. And as they go into Blaziken here, I'm thinking that this thing might be Focus Sashed or something. And they'll probably be able to live a Pin Missile. They haven't seen my Rock Blast coverage. So I do just go for the Rock Blast here. If they clicked Protect, they're going to need to click 2 Protects to be able to outspeed me because of the Sticky Web and my Trailblaze boost I have. But they don't click Protect at all, and the 4 hits from the Rock Blast is going to be able to finish this off. So another one bites the dust. And the only thing that's scaring me now is this Zacian they have in the back. I keep waiting for them to go into this Zacian. Because I don't know if I'm going to have enough damage. I probably do now at +3 or whatever, but I was nervous I wasn't going to have enough attack. But as they go into Dragonite here, I know that an Extreme Speed will kill me from this range. So I get to bust out my Terra Rock. It's one of my favorite Terras to become. It puts the big temple on your head. And this Dragonite is going to be able to do a big chunk. If it's Choice Banded, I think an Extreme Speed still kills me. But if it's not, I should be able to take one as a resisted hit as a Rock type. And this will also boost up my Rock Blast damage, not that I need it. And I do barely live on 26, the Extreme Speed, and I connect on the Rock Blast, thank God. And with the Terra Boost, that does, look at that, a good big bit through Multiscale. And as the second hit does just massively more, it is going to go down in just the 3 hits. And just like that, we're sitting... just like that, Heracross can turn around a match for you just like that. Anything with Moxie and a way to boosted speed can really turn around a match. I have a Crocodile video coming soon who's really solid with this. And now they go into this Zacian. They're going to take that Sticky Web. I'm going to be faster at +1, and they're at -1. They get the +1 to their attack, but now at... Oh, with all the boosts I have, they're not going to be able to take a close combat. And I'm just check here to see what I'm at. I'm at +4. I'm just checking. And I know that at +4, close combat definitely kills this. And it has to, because I don't have anything else that'll be able to handle this, probably. I don't know if I'd be able to clutch this out with what I have left. So luckily, we beat the hell out of it, and Heracross really pulled that one back for us. And that's going to win us the game. And that's how Heracross can turn around a match for you. And we do have another match coming up next, so we'll just get right into that one. My opponent this time leads off with Arceus. So, that is a pretty scary lead. I am a little afraid of Extreme Killer Arceus, as I just lead with my Galvantula. I want to get those sticky webs up. I'm always worried about my webs. And I am going to just go for those webs. They do go for Extreme Spirit Away. Thank God they don't start setting up, and it does just a ton of damage to me. I lay down my Sticky Web, and that's going to help the rest of the game, but I'm basically useless here. I switch into Bramblegast, expecting another Extreme Speed. I'll be able to take one, and then I'm thinking maybe I can, like, Strength Sap this and, and get it down and whittle it down, maybe just do some damage. So as I switch into Bramblegast here, they use Judgment, which is a normal type move because it's a normal type, so I'm still immune to it. And I'm like, well, now what? Now I just go for Strength Sap. Just try to, like, nerf this thing a little bit physically. And as they switch, they are going to switch to something that's going to have to take a Strength Sap. As they go into Latios, I am going to Strength Sap this. I wish I had clicked Poltergeist expecting to switch, but I really couldn't risk it because I really did not want to die to an Arceus and take a bunch of damage on all my guys. So I get my Strength Sap off, and I think about staying in, but I'm like, well, I'm going to have to switch out. I'm not going to be able to stay in on this. So I go right back into my Galvantula just to sack it. And not a lot really can come in on Latios, especially if it's like Specs or something. That's like what I'm most scared of. So I go into Galvantula. I'm like, well, thank you for setting up the Sticky Webs. And they use Ice Beam, which is interesting coverage. Usually they're choiced in some way, Latios, so I'm expecting them to be stuck into that. So I decide to go right into Entei here. I can start getting up some flame charges and start spreading some burn around on stuff. I have the super effective crunch on this even. But I do decide to go for a flame charge here. I'm expecting them to switch, but they don't switch, and I actually outspeed naturally. So that's interesting. And they go for a flip turn, so it is going to reveal that it's not choice in any way, and they're slow on purpose so that they can get those slow flip turns off. But now I'm at +1 speed, so they're going to have to switch into something that is able to take on my Entei. And as they switch here, they are going to bring out their Giratina. Origin. Which really sucks. This is a super naturally bulky Pokemon. I hit as like a crazy HP stat. So I go for a crunch. I'm like, well, I'm going to start crunching and just try to get some defense drops. I do get the drop there, which is awesome. And they go for an Earth Power, and luckily I'm Assault Vested, so I am able to take that. And just keep firing off crunches. I want to just keep doing as much damage as I can to this. And they get him down to super low health, which is important, as they actually finish me off with an Earth Power. I was thinking I'd be able to take another, but I can't. But that's okay, because now this Giratina is in a spot where my good friend Heracross can come in, finish it with the Trailblaze, and get ourselves the old Roundabout Dragon Dance. We come in, we're standing this time. We're not flying because there's no need to. And we finished it. We're just going to go right for a Trailblaze and finish and pick off that last couple HP. Luckily, we outspeed. I think naturally this thing is faster, but I'm max speed. So I do get a boost to my speed, and KOing that is going to give me a boost to my attack. So now I'm faster than everything. I hit really hard. I have the loaded dice, and I'm set up really well. They go into Arceus here. And we know from the last match that Extreme Speed is a really popular click against my Heracross. So they come in, they're going to get the Sticky Web drop, and I'm just checking here to see if I need to Terra anything else, and I don't. So I decided to commit my Terra, my Terra Rock. I'm going to try to resist an Extreme Speed. They showed us earlier they had the Extreme Speed, so that's what I imagine they came back in here for. So I do Terra Rock, I put that little thing back on my horn. It's not even on my head, it's on my horn, and she loves it. So we actually just outspeed here, and so they didn't click Extreme Speed, and a close combat at +1 is going to take care of it. We do drop our defenses, but it looks like they're not going to have any more priority in the back. So it does take out the Arceus, and that's going to give us another Moxie boost. So now we're at +1 speed and +2 attack, and somebody's going to have to handle this. They go into Ogerpon, who is actually very scary because it gets caught up in the Sticky Web, but the Grass Ogerpon has the ability Defiant. So now it's at +2 attack. But it's at -1 speed and I'm at +1 speed, so even if it's Scarfed, I'll outspeed. I just go for the Pin Missile here. It's going to take him out in 2. I was expecting a Terra, because I think if they had Terra, they would have gotten the speed boost and outsped me, but they didn't, and they don't. So now I'm at +3 attack and +1 speed. We take out the Ogerpon. It looks like they're not really going to have anything that can take a couple attacks for this. They go into Latios, who we know won't outspeed me because it undersped everything I had before. It undersped my Entei before. So I just go for the Pin Missile. I'm just checking accuracy. I didn't want to miss. I didn't want to miss a move. And one Pin Missile, one single hit, that 25 base power is going to be enough at plus... Are we +3 or +4 now? It doesn't matter. We really turned this around, though, because I was scared of that Arceus. Arceus can get really out of hand and really put in the work with priority Extreme Speed and Swords Dance and stuff, but luckily it doesn't come down to that. They go into Lugia, and with multi-scale, this thing's going to be able to take one, and Lugia is super bulky, but we go for the Rock Blast, and we miss. So that really sucks. And we're at -1 special attack, but they go for the Psychic Noise, which doesn't even do half, so it must not be a really specially attack-invested Lugia, and good for us. So now we get another chance to hit that Rock Blast, and luckily we looked the right way this time and connected on the Rock Blast. And the first hit looked us a bunch through multi-scale, and the second hit almost kills it, and the third hit's going to finish it off. And that's going to be another one going for Heracross, and she's put the work in now to the point where they're not going to be able to, do anything to her, and if they are, there's nothing that they have that I can't handle with what I have in the back. So we are allowed to heal again, which was not a problem to begin with. And they are going to bring out their last Pokemon here, the Calyrex, who could outspeed me if it was Scarfed, but they come in, they have this crazy ability where it's actually 2 abilities, and they get caught in the Sticky Web. And we know how this goes. One Pin Missile is going to do it for us. And I do just go for that Pin Missile, but they decide to save the Calyrex's life and show it mercy. And that's going to be the end of that one, and we have one more for you here. My opponent this time leads off with Ceruledge, as I actually lead off with my Entei here. I led off with Entei because I was expecting them to start with Dragapult, but this is fine too, as I have the Crunch coverage where they're probably not expecting it, and I am going to be able to outspeed, at least on this first turn. And as I do go for the Crunch, it is going to outspeed, and it does a good bit of damage. It almost kills it. It procs their weak armor, so they're not going to be Flash Fire. So I probably should have clicked Flame Charge into this, but they do just go for a Swords Dance, and that's going to make them kind of scary. They have a higher attack now, but I am going to be able to take one of anything. Entei is super physically bulky, naturally, so they have a Brick Break, which I think maybe a Poltergeist actually would have killed me, seeing that Brick Break damage. But luckily, they don't have it, so we go for a Crunch, and that just takes them out. Luckily, thank God. And on the Revenge switch here, they decide to go into Hitmonlee. And the only thing here is that I don't know what set this thing has, but I imagine it's like a normal gem fake-out set. So I stay in on Entei on purpose, because you'll see why. You'll see why in a minute. And they go right for the fake-out. It is going to proc that normal gem, so now they have their Unburden ability active, so their speed is doubled. And that does a good bit, but because Entei's ability is Inner Focus, I don't flinch, and I get to get my Sacred Fire off. And it kills with a crit. I probably would have killed without the crit, but if not, I was trying to run for that burn. But I knew that I wouldn't flinch because of my ability. So they go into Dragapult here. Entei is kind of tearing through this early game here, as they are going to be able to outspeed and take me out with Dragon Darts. Which is fine, you know, I had it coming. And Entei was doing really good for that his first couple. But I decided to go into Galvantula here to set up my sticky webs. I wasn't thinking, they just use Dragon Darts, and I probably can't take one, but I want to get my sticky web up regardless. And seeing that Serperior on the team is probably good that I never got these up, because as they Dragon Darts, yeah, 2 hits is going to just kill me even through my Focus Sash. So that was kind of a waste. That was like a free kill for them. So now we're even. We're, you know, 4 on 4. And I decided to bring in Mandibuzz here. I know that they're going to hit me, and it's going to hit hard, but I max HP, and that'll give me chances to get my weak armor up and outspeed it. So they go for a Dragon Darts. The first one barely scratches me, procs my weak armor, so I'm at -1 defense and +2 speed. And then the second hit is going to do more damage and proc that weak armor again. So I'm at -2 defense and +4 speed. And I do click Nasty Plot here because I knew that a Dark Pulse just raw probably wouldn't kill this. So I do get up a special attack, and I'm sitting pretty fast and strong with my bird here, and I go for a Dark Pulse. I know that I'll outspeed, and with a +2 I have enough damage without a doubt to kill it. So they go into that, and the only problem here with Mandibuzz is that with just a +2 to my special attack and not my weakness policy, I don't think I'm going to have enough damage to really get a good sweep going, and everything is still at full health, so I'm not going to be able to really do that much to anything without any chip or anything. So they do bring in Ninetales, and my best damage here is to just go for a Dark Pulse, roll for a flinch maybe, but I know that it's not going to kill. And it does over half though, and as they Fire Blast, that's going to just kill me, even without any drops on max HP just with the Sun out. Such a high base power move. So on the Revenge I can go into whatever I want, and I'm kind of low on options. Nobody really wants to come in on a Ninetales. So I decide to go into my Heracross, and I'm like, well, I have to get this thing set up now or never. This is sort of the only chance we're going to get for this. And I know they probably want to click a Fire move against me, so I want to go Terra Rock here. I'm hoping they don't Will-O-Wisp, but I should have enough damage, and with Moxie boosts and stuff, to kind of outpace a Will-O-Wisp. So I go for Moxie, I go for my Terra here, my Terra Rock, to take a Fire move, because I want to get a Trailblaze off, and that'll let me be faster on the next turn than this Ninetales. So the Terra, they go for a Fire Blast, which actually misses, and that's why I run Weather Ball over Fire Blast. And a Trailblaze it's not going to kill it, and it's not going to really do any damage, but it gets me most importantly, that speed boost, so now I'll be faster than everything. And I should be able to outspeed everything, so I go for a Rock Blast here. And with a Terra boost, I mean, it only has like 4 HP left, so the one hit is going to take it out. And that's going to give us all our Moxie boost. So that one hit takes it out, and now we have that good old Dragon Dance again, that +1 speed and attack. And as they bring in Serperior, they probably aren't expecting me to have bug coverage, because Heracross normally doesn't run it. So I just click Pin Missile on this. I outspeed because of that Trailblaze, and it took that first hit pretty well, but with 4, it's going to definitely be able to do it. Thankfully. It's a pretty bulky Serperior to be able to take all 4 of those at +1. So it takes out the Serperior, and now I'm at +2. I can still outspeed everything. They're running low on options. You know, they can bring out the Chandelure if they want, but I'm not really scared of him. And they go into him, and now they've seen the Rock Blast, but I don't really have anything else that I can click against this. So I just go for the Rock Blast. They don't Terra, and I'm going to outspeed, and at +3, yeah, 2 hits. That'll be enough. That'll do it. Luckily. And that's going to finish off the game for us with that one. Heracross really wasn't super the star of that one, but really pulled it out for us. And I do have just one more match here for us, so we're going to get into that now. So I wanted to talk about my opponent's team for this next match because it's interesting to me. It's a team that looks like it wants to set sticky webs on my side of the field and then switch them over to their side of the field because they have a bunch of Pokemon that could benefit from a speed drop on switch in. And as they lead with their Cinderace, I lead with my Galvantula. They probably just expect me to set up my sticky webs this turn. And I cannot by any means let them get sticky webs on their side of the field to enable all those mons, or I basically lose. So I decided to switch into my Entei here. It kind of helps knowing this strategy. Just it's the same Pokemon every time when you see this stuff. So I switch into Entei here, I'm expecting a Pyro Ball. I kind of imagine they want to knock me down to my Sash as I set up the Sticky Webs. And they do, they go for that Pyro Ball, and luckily my bulky Entei just takes that really well. And I just go for a Crunch here, in case they want to stay in or do something or switch. I just imagine it's a good neutral play. And as they do switch, they go for a U-turn, actually, which is going to do a good bit. That does almost as much as the Pyro Ball looks like, which is interesting. So as they switch, they bring in Superior on my Crunch. And I kind of see an opportunity on this because they probably expect me to switch, but I am Assault Vested, and with a Flame Charge I'll be able to be faster than this thing. So they actually luckily substitute, which is great. They probably expected me to switch, as I do go for that Flame Charge there. And that's going to let me be faster than them now. So they are kind of in a spot where they didn't get any damage on my Entei, and now my Entei is faster than their Superior with that speed boost. And you just go for one more Flame Charge here, because that is going to be able to take it out, and if they switch, it'll it'll do damage, and it'll get me just a +2 speed. So now my speed is doubled, and I'm super strong with my Entei. Entei is super powerful at Sacred Fire that has a 50% burn chance. But now with my speed doubled, they bring in their Smeargle, and I kind of imagine this thing goes for a Sticky Web to get it on my side. So I wanted to go into my Rapid Spinner, so that when they set that Sticky Web, I'll be able to just spin it away right away. So I switch into my Bramblegast here, expecting them to set the webs up, but they actually go for an Endeavor, expecting me to knock them down to their Sash, maybe, I guess. And I go for a Poltergeist here because I imagine they switch, because they're not going to be able to get that Endeavor off against me at all. And as they do switch, they go into Cinderace, so it was a kind of a crazy prediction on that Poltergeist. Now I'm like, Poltergeist, please connect, oh my god. And luckily it does connect, it beats them up. They have the heavy-duty boots on, of course, probably because they were expecting to have webs on their side. And the Poltergeist does, luckily, just a ton of damage. And I get a free switch back into Entei here, unless they were predicting that. And as I do switch, I bring back in my Entei against the Cinderace. I know that I can 1v1 this really well with my high defense. And they do just go for another Pyro Ball, which is going to do enough to be a 2-hit, unfortunately. And they are going to outspeed me, which really sucks. I go for a Flame Charge just because. They actually finish me off with a Sucker Punch here, which is really interesting. And that is going to take me out, but it's a pretty fast mod to have Sucker Punch on. But now I can go into whatever I want, and I'm like, well, time to start, threatening with with my favorite girl, Heracross here. As I bring in Heracross, I'm like, I know that they're probably going to click Pyro Ball against me, and with a Terra Rock, I'll be able to take one, and probably finish this off with a Trailblaze if they stay a Dark type from that Sucker Punch they did. And luckily, so I do decide to Terra and click Trailblaze here just to get that speed boost on whatever. And as they finally make their decision, I get my Terra off. I am going to be Terra Rock. They don't switch, which is important to note. I think if they switch, it happens before the Terra, so they do stay in. They probably Pyro Ball here, which is I'm like kind of baiting them into it. I'm kind of surprised they even took this, but they did, and they go for the Pyro Ball here. It doesn't really, barely scratches me with my Terra, and they don't have stab on it anymore. And my Trailblaze does not finish it off, unfortunately, but it does get it low enough to kill it with a second Trailblaze, which would be nice to have double speed. So I do just go for the Trailblaze again, and that is going to finish it off. And now I'm at +2 speed, which is really good this time, and with this KO, it's going to give me the +1 attack. We know that the Smeargle is going to be sashed, and they haven't seen that I'm loaded dice yet, so they probably go back into that Smeargle expecting to get knocked down to their Sash and go for an Endeavor. So I just go for a Pin Missile here. I just don't want to miss a Rock Blast. So I go for a Pin Missile, and at +1, that's going to do a ton, and it is going to bypass this thing's Sash because it's multi-hit. If I do take it out, it doesn't get any of those Endeavor shenanigans, and now we have really opened up the game in terms of eliminating some of their scarier sweepers. We get another attack boost for the road, and they can go in whatever they want, but I am super fast now and super strong. They bring in Empoleon here, and I'm kind of expecting them baiting me into a close combat, but I do decide to just click it anyways. It looks like they have nothing that really wants to switch into it. So I do end up just clicking the close combat here. It's the easiest click, but they decide to save the lives of the rest of their mods, and that's going to be the end of that battle. That was just a fun little bonus one, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to post more. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.